Okay, hello guys, I'm Fluffy and I'm back with another Swedishboom. So today we're here on these as usual, and I think this is my most interesting boom yet, because it's not all about the score but rather the mechanic of overpopping with 31 skirmishers. These skirmishers are natives, so they don't actually take population. So you're able to, if you're able to protect them, you're going to be fighting 31 skirmishers up on your opponent, and this is something you can see in Blitz a lot, because you're able to send these skirmisher cards early, right? But actually fitting them into a boom can be quite challenging, because it's going to slow down your Imperial by quite a lot. But I think I've managed to have a good setup to really get those cards out while also booming quite competitively. So let's just hop right into it and see how it goes. Starting off in Sweden, you want to send 2 villagers onto mines, or at least that's what I like to do, because during the first few seconds the hunts actually don't run away, so you can get a nice economic waypoint to send your new villagers to. Also, something to note to Sweden is that it's very easy to miss your second villager, so you want to have a lot of villagers gathering food early rather than having them all gather the wood crates, because then you're going to miss your next villager, just because you start with such few food crates. We're starting with 1 torp and 1 market. Torp, since we're doing a very basic Swedish boom, you want to just fill patches of trees with torps to get that wood gather rate. And simultaneously you also want to have your herds near your torps. So this is an ideal situation. You have the torp getting both the wood gather rate and also it got us from the dead animal. I have 2 villagers right now gathering for hunting dogs, which is 50 coin, and 50 wood, which you're getting from the torp and your starting crates. Once I hit 50, I put all villagers on food again, and this is because we're looking to get the first wood chopping upgrade, gang saws. This is all very basic Swedish boom stuff, but some people might be new to the civilization, so I might as well explain it. Another quite unique thing while playing Sweden is the fact that it's really important to scout your starting area, because you really need to scout for locations to place your torps. In single player, it's a little different. In team games, you're going to get a higher score just because there are better places to place your torps. And the ideal position to place a torp is obviously near a patch of tree, and have a hunt at it. Sometimes you're even able to get the torp gathering from a mine as well, and that is quite common in team games. Yeah, so now that I have stabilized on food, I like to leave. I've stabilized on food, got the first wood chopping upgrade. I like to leave a few villagers on food, just to sustain villager production, and all the rest of the villagers goes to wood. So I've chosen to sack this whole patch of wood, just because I don't want to have to rally outside of my starting area. I mean, that's not appropriate for the booming phase. So yeah, with the wood gathering villagers, I send a few around and build torps in good locations, while simultaneously shooting herds towards the new torps. So For instance, this one is now not only gathering wood but also food. This is a pretty brain dead part of the boom. Well, it takes some a lot of attention to where to place the torps and whatnot, but you basically just rally all your villagers to wood and max out on torps. The only thing to note is that once you hit 14 or 13 villagers, I put the rally point back onto food, because that's enough to get you to 20 torps in an appropriate time. It's kind of just personal preference, to be fair. Getting a better H-up time. Yeah, it's something I've noticed playing Sweden is that my treasure game is quite lackluster. It's because a lot of APM goes into torping. Single player is also a little different, because in team games you can normally torp much easier, but in single player you have a very limited wood in your starting area, so you really need to utilize every patch of trees. Yeah, so now you can see I'm on 13 villagers on wood. I have a few out building, but I've chosen to change the waypoint back to food, just with an appropriate H-up time. See, every torp you build actually generates food for you as well. So you not only have your villagers gathering, you have the torps gathering from the hunts and also from the berries. Can actually go into lock camp so that I can see where I was looking during the boom. I think my mic is pretty ass, so I apologize if there is any background noises or buzzing. My friends always complain that it sounds like I'm vacuuming in in Discord or something like that. Yeah, so we are getting close to H-up, and I generally want to aim at 23 villagers, 22, 23 villagers for the H-up. And another nice mechanic that is worth knowing in Sweden is to see how many torps you're at. It's a good trick is to just choose a torp and then select all. Oh shit, doesn't work in replay mode, but anyways, if you choose a torp and then do your select all hotkey, you see how many torps you have placed. Because if you look, it also says if you just hover where the torps are over here in the building menu, but that's not quite as reliable, because I don't think it shows how many you have built rather than placed, or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, I think we should be close to getting to max torps at this point. So what you do then is get the first coin upgrade, and then you send a lot of villagers onto coin. Basically all your villagers. Just keep maybe just a few, because what you're aiming for is of course to go to the fortress age as fast as possible. So this is an ideal spread. And if you already have a lot of food, what you can do is actually get the first coin upgrade, and if you already got it on coin, you get the first food upgrade, etc. As you can see, we have not sent a single shipment yet, and that is actually very common for Sweden, because all your interesting shipments are in the Fortress Age and above. I can see I got the coin upgrade. I hit the Fortress Age. What I forgot to mention is that the age up I aged to H2 with was of course 2 cows and 2 villagers. And now for the Fortress Age, I actually choose to go up with the Exile Prince to age up faster rather than going with the town center, just because I think aging faster gets you a faster town centers and you max out on villagers faster. I think it's just better. Yeah. So what this means, however, is that you need to shop a bit in the transition for your town center. So I hit 500 wood and I place down a town center as fast as possible. Once I hit H3, I also sent blackberries and the royal mint.
Hello.
I'm also keeping villagers on wood until I get all the market upgrades that I'm interested in, which is steel traps, amalgamation, and also 2 town centers. Looks like I already got steel traps, so anyways, when I have enough wood to make 2 town centers comfortably, I switch back to a spread of villagers onto food and coin. So because each torp generates quite a lot of food for you, you generally want to have more villagers on coin, and also your food rate is just higher. Something that's, if there are any newer players who's trying to learn the game, something that you want to do is place your town centers at the edge of the circles, where the as close to resources as possible. See some newer players actually place them on a line in the middle, which is very situational and doesn't most of the time doesn't really benefit you. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is this gathering. I've queued up the age up for H4, and I'm going with the logistician. I think this is a very this age up doesn't really matter which one you go for. You can go for 10 Caroleans or the fort or whatever. Okay, so at this point you can normally fit in your first skirmisher shipment. So that's what I'm doing now. And you're actually able to get it out before you hit H4. And in H4 you have, of course, all your most important shipments, which you want to prioritize. Now that the torps are slowly generating wood for you, and when you have all of your market upgrades, all your TCs, the buildings you'll be looking to build is of course the church and the tavern. That's what I'm doing now. And the garter spread I have is I want to generate more coin than food, just because this shipment costs coin, obviously, so you need to send this twice. Hitting the industrial age, I send the wood card first. It's very important, and then after that I send my factories. At the same time, of course, you are just maxing out on villagers. Also, I try to I mean, it's pretty much impossible to always have your hunts onto torps, but most of the time I try to herd them towards the torps as much as possible. So now we're gathering for the Imperial Age shop, but I also have a lot of extra wood income. So what I do is build plantations, as many as possible, just because I want that extra experience to get the Wittelsbach shipment out. So once you get your factories, put them onto wood. You always want to have your factories on wood, or in most cases anyways, because that's your slowest gathering resource for most civilizations. Also, it's a limited resource that is going to run out eventually if the game goes long enough. I think this is actually a mistake on my part. They should be on wood already. I think that's what I swapped now. And as you can see, I'm sending my second skirmisher card, and then I'm aging with the royalists, which is the 17 native skirmishers, to make it 31 skirmishers. So aging up to the Imperial Age, it's important to gather a lot of food, because you want to be getting your plantation upgrades. And of course the first most important upgrade is for the factories to gather wood faster. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting now, the plantation upgrades, but you also don't want to make too many plantations right away. 2 is enough, I think, because you want to hit 1000 wood and 1000 food once you hit the Imperial Age, so that you can get your coin upgrade as fast as possible. So it's kind of what I'm aiming for right now. And also the capital costs 300 wood, and you want also of course 1000 food. Keep a few villagers onto coin, just so that I can get the shipment card from the church. That is also something you want, so that you're able to get yeah, that's what I queued now. See this thing. So I'd say you'd want like 30 villagers, 40 villagers on food, and 15 villagers on coin, just so that you can get that out. And the reason you want that is so that you can send all your coin cards as fast as possible. And at this point I should have not only the capital upgrade, but also the plantation upgrade. So at this point I start to transfer villagers onto plantations. It's important not to just pull all your villagers instantly, because you need to have enough food to max out on villagers. Yeah, so this is a very basic Swedishboom. It's the core for one anyways, except I fit in the skirmisher cards. At this point we're basically, once we have 90 villagers on plantations, we're basically done. So what I'm doing now is making sure that one town center is not overproducing, but rather I spread out all the villager production. You see each one has 3 left. Sometimes you can actually train like 10 villagers in one town center and the 2 others are idle. And that's bad, you know. Want to max out as fast as possible. Yeah, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and fast forward a bit, because there's nothing really notable right now. We're just waiting for better times. Having all the villagers onto coin is very standard, because of course we'll be looking to trade eventually. And in the meantime you're actually able to get both riding school and fencing school out. Train speed, it's very important. So at this point, just base. Talk a little bit about how to base properly, because I see a lot of mistakes. A lot of people just spam walls. So generally you want one layer to protect your economy, or like your inner circle of base. You want one outer layer. And you kind of have to think a bit about where I'm fighting, right? Over here, for instance, this is the main battlefield. If this was like a team game and we were out of mats, if I was in mats, I would place my production facilities over here. But yeah, so basically you have your base, you have a layer of wall, and as many layer of walls as possible. And then you have one layer which protects your eco, and between your outer layers of wall and your eco layer you can base even more for protection, right? So for instance I base a little bit right here, so that if I ever lose this is protected. If I'm getting pushed in, you know, and let's say I lose these barracks, I have backup barracks right here, and they're already behind as many layers as possible, so that they're safe, right? So what I see some people do sometimes is make a lot of eco layers. That's not really going to benefit you, because if they get in, let's say I have 2 layers of walls here and 5 layers of eco walls. If they break this, I have no place to base, you know, and I'm going to just lose anyways. So if you want to make a lot of walls, you want to have them at this layer rather than this layer, if that makes sense. I want to keep the leave space here for military buildings, and then protect that instead of having a lot of layers down here, because if they get in here, there it's basically over anyways, you know. Also, I'm always using the basic Julian Julian trademark way of basing. 2 barracks, 3 artillery foundries in the back, and 2 stables to the side. If this was an actual 1v1, I think I would have based a bit over here, a bit over here, a bit over here, just to cover all the flanks. And as a blitz player, that is something that I've started to learn just recently, you know, the importance of actually spreading your military production buildings. I've been playing a lot of China and Hausa, and you really have to be established on all parts of the map when you're playing out on that, especially. Oh yeah, so the cows you age up with, they're actually quite useful. It's a nice food boost, because once they're fully fattened, you can actually just pull them over to a group of torps and just delete it, and the torps will gather from it. You're not getting full value, but you get most of the food. So yeah, playing Sweden, you basically have your factories onto wood, and that combined with all your torps is enough wood to get you all the upgrades you need. So you basically get all the upgrades. You get your Caroleans upgraded, you get your Hussars upgraded, your cavalry, horse artillery and mortars, and also of course all your church stuff, your capital stuff. You might want to hold off on the food upgrade in the capital, just because it's a lot of coin invested, and you want as much coin as possible for the trade. That's the only one I would hold off on. Yeah, so generally you want to hide this, because it's a very I mean, you're investing a lot into getting this skirmisher box of death, right? And you just don't want to show it to your opponent unless you really have to. The element of surprise. And trust me, this can really catch people off guard. You already have 110 pop army. The Carolean is an extremely strong, efficient unit. So having, let's say, 110 Caroleans, and then having 31 of these in the back, that is, this is a massive source of DPS. And what is quite interesting is the fact that they're actually able to play with less cannons this way. Obviously, you need to do cavalry wars most likely, because you don't really like it when you never want to get shot by horse art or pushed by mortars or whatever. But you generally don't need to play as much horse art if you do this strategy, which is quite fun, because Sweden is normally just all about having horse art, Caroleans, and setting a few Huss flags. Can get boring sometimes, but doing this, it's quite refreshing, you know. What you like to do is obviously keep these alive for as long as possible, because they don't take pop. They're just free DPS, right? And another thing they got going for them is the fact that they have a promotion, and a promotion ability. So every time they get a kill, they get increased stats, and eventually you can get them all promoted fully. And then this is truly just a giant ball of very lethal skirmishers, right? So now, sorry, I got to slow down. What we basically done now is had as many villagers as possible onto coin. We sent all the eco cards, obviously, all the coin ones anyways. Trading speed, and at 2 minutes I choose to trade. This is very dependent on the matchup as well. If you're against something you know is going to push you very hard, you obviously want to trade earlier, just so that you don't run out on coin. And vice versa, if you're against something that is going to camp, you can really milk the trade. Trade at 1 minute left, for instance, or a higher score. I chose 2 minutes left because that's pretty standard, I think. And with this build, you're actually able to get one Carolean card of your choice out as well. I chose to go for this one just because I seen Severia do it in Blitz. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, he sent the range resist. A melee push is going to absolutely shred this. And then this showed up, you know, the box of mountain troopers, and I just got rolled. Yeah. So out of that, can be worth it to put these on coin, since you don't need all that much wood. The wood you get from the torps is generally enough outside of that. Yeah, so 5 seconds left. We've popped our Minuteman, loads of Caroleans, and yeah, we're at the score of 232k. If we didn't go for the whole overpop, it would have been way higher, but that's just very standard Swedish boom. But this is the nice little feature, right? And the reason they're walking all clumped up like this is because I have them in defend mode. You really want to protect these things. Trust me, it's going to do so much damage if you just have these in the back. So yeah, that's basically it. The next cards that you'll be looking to send, so I can just go through that real quickly as well. In this deck, I have chosen to go with the Infinite Surströmming, which I think is the superior choice, just because, Jesus Christ, this is loud. Can have a look at it. Yeah, so this card is fucking amazing. I know. You're just able to ship it, and for the longer it lays in your base, the more food it generates for you, right? So once you eventually pop the crates, you can have a stockpile of 30k food. It's very common, you know, to hit these absurd numbers. Imagine 30k score just laying in your base, you know. So once you get low on food, you pop them and you're back. So I would very much recommend running this. Very, very nice card. And the cards you want to send after the resist card is obviously, if you're in the nats, you want cheaper nats. This and this, those are very important cards as well, because it's, yeah, you want to buff your Carolines as much as possible. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it.